named the growing list of Democrats calling for President Biden to withdraw from the 2024 presidential race amid concerns about his health and mental fitness. Oscar winner George Clooney, who last month co-hosted a major fundraiser for Biden here in L.A., today penning a New York Times op-ed saying that he loves the president, but, quote, the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. Clooney writing in part, it is devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. The White House is pushing back against Clooney's op-ed today, and so are a number of local Democrats. L.A. Mayor Karen Bass saying she still supports Biden as the nominee. Supervisor Janice Hahn saying other Democrats should line up and say that they are voting for Biden. Veteran L.A. Times political writer Seema Mehta and I were at last month's Clooney-Biden fundraisers. We served as the pool reporters inside. Seema joins me now with more on the fallout. Seema, I'm curious on what you saw in the room and what you heard afterwards. Is it line up with what Clooney was saying?
I mean, I think, you and I both were there and we spent some quality time together. First of all, putting President Biden on the stage next to former President Obama was always going to be challenging because Obama is much younger and he is, quite articulate. He's always been good on this stuff. But I think I did hear from people concerns, but I heard them privately. Like, people are now saying things publicly that they said privately back then, because after the debate happened, it seemed like that obviously opened a bit of a floodgate. But there were concerns that he's always been sort of soft-spoken, but there was times when he would sort of, start as a question and answer and then stop and, maybe pause for a bit. So what we saw at the debate was sort of like what we saw at the fundraiser. I feel like, and the fundraiser was a very friendly audience.
And I had a similar experience. A lot of people, nobody would go on camera saying this, but looked and like, oh, he looked really old and sounded really old. And he had just been on a big international trip. Some people were blaming that. But then the debate took it to another level, and we did report some of that at the time for people that are curious. Okay, so does the Clooney thing matter, and who is George Clooney's audience in this? Is it President Biden? Is it voters? Is it Obama? Who's he talking to with this?
George Clooney, I was actually having this conversation with somebody earlier today. He was like, I don't care what an actor thinks. It's not just that he's an actor. He is a major Democratic fundraiser. I mean, when he held a fundraiser for Obama in 2012, it raised the most money of any Democratic fundraiser at the time. Same in 2016 for Hillary Clinton, and then they broke that record with more than $30 million for Biden a couple weeks ago in LA. So his connections represent Hollywood donors, which are huge Democratic donors, and it also represents, the people that he's connected with, whether it's Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's on, Biden's national campaign committee. There's so many big names that have given a lot of money and a lot of time. And I feel like the fact that Clooney was willing to speak out is a signal that, and Rob Reiner also spoke out, and Ari Emanuel, whose brother is Rahm Emanuel, who is Biden's ambassador to Japan, who was Obama's chief of staff. It seems like there's a growing concern in Hollywood that's becoming increasingly public.
So everybody you just mentioned are all close with Barack Obama, who was on stage that night. He's been pretty quiet since the debate. The day after, he expressed support for Biden, but we haven't heard anything from him this week. A lot of Obama people, though, John Favreau, David Axelrod, a lot of people really close to Obama are now speaking out against Biden. What's going on with Barack Obama?
Obama world is very large, and it has a lot of people with a lot of different opinions and strong opinions. And obviously, David Axelrod, who was there from the beginning, has been very open about his concern. That said, I spoke with somebody who regularly speaks to the president earlier today, who basically said or the former president, I'm sorry, that Obama feels like his role is to be a confidant and a sounding board for Biden. So unless things go south, it doesn't sound like he's going to, start effort to, get him to resign. But it sounds like he's obviously paying attention. There's a lot of reporting about how concerned he is about the president's chances of re-election against former President Trump.
And of course, Obama didn't really think Biden could win back in 2016. He helped ensure that Hillary Clinton got the nomination, which Biden has always never forgotten, and that is, something that's part of their past as well. Seema, thank you so much. You are going to be at the RNC next week, as am I, so we can do this again in person next week in Milwaukee. We'll be there all week long for live coverage, especially here on the Fox 11 News at 6 when some of the biggest speeches are going to be happening. Seema, thanks so much. Great to see you.
Appreciate it.